Like many cultures, the first Jamaicans, the Taino Indians, used the barter system, trading commodities for other commodities. Although there was some gold on the island, the Tainos used it for decorative purposes. When the Spanish arrived in the 1490s and began to trade with the Tainos, they tended to use glass beads and other trinkets. By the early 1500s, coins were in use on the island. They were very thin and light, made from copper and called maravedis. They originated in Santo Domingo. Occasionally, they were stamped with markings such as keys and anchors, which differentiated their values. During the island's time as a Spanish colony, little was done to develop Jamaica's natural resources because it was deemed less valuable than other colonies who had deep reserves of gold. Jamaica therefore remained a poor country, used chiefly as an agricultural supplier. By the 17th century, Jamaica had become an English colony after its capture by Cromwell's army, and with the rise of the buccaneers, it had become the headquarters of the British naval fleet, and in many ways the seat of the English Empire. As such, it received a large supply of coins, the most popular of which were the familiar Spanish silver dollars or 8-real coins, or pieces of 8 as they were commonly known. First circulated in the 16th century. These pieces of 8 had great longevity, staying in circulation until 1839, when Jamaica adopted official British paper currency. Spanish gold coins were also in circulation, one of the most popular of which was the doubloon. Gold and silver coins from France, Pistole and ECU, and Portugal, Mirador and Johannes, could also be found. Local colonial authorities set the exchange rates of these coins in terms of British currency, pounds, shillings, and pence, but the rates were different from those used in England. In the early 19th century, the British tried to introduce a single form of currency for all of its colonies. They minted special silver coins called anchor money due to the inclusion of an anchor design on their reverse sides. Colonial merchants rejected anchor money in favor of the more familiar pieces of 8, and anchor money was rendered useful mainly for military transactions. In 1825, the British tried again by sending a coin made from copper and silver. Again, it was rejected. This time mainly by the recently freed slaves who used coins in their Saturday markets. As recently converted Christians, many did not think coins should be made from copper, only from silver or gold, as was traditional. There was, however, a shortage of lower denomination silver coins, and so in 1834, British silver 3p and penny halfpenny pieces were imported. The penny halfpenny became known as quartile or quarter-real, or a quatty. Because of the rationale behind their importation, these coins became known as Christian quatties. On December 31st, 1840, British currency became that of Jamaica by law. In other words, money in circulation was to be the lower denomination upper coins, the farthing, halfpenny, and penny, as well as the higher denomination silver coins, the 3p, 6p, shilling, florin, half-crown, and the crown. Spanish coins were demonetized with the exception of the Spanish doubloon, which remained in circulation until 1901. I don't understand none of that. In the years following the abolition of slavery, there was a need for greater access to money at smaller denominations. The first Jamaican coins, known as pennies and halfpennies, were minted from a copper-nickel alloy, close to silver and therefore more acceptable to the recently freed slaves in 1869. They contained the Jamaica crest on the reverse, backside, and a British monarch on the obverse, front side. In the 1880s came farthings, which lasted until 1950s. The first Jamaican bank, the Bank of Jamaica, which has no relation to the present bank whatsoever, was established in 1836 but did not issue banknotes. The first Jamaican banknotes were released in 1837, coinciding with the opening of the first Colonial Bank in Jamaica. The Colonial Bank issued notes payable in British pounds, Spanish dollars, and local Jamaican currency. With increasing trade, other banks such as the Planters Bank in 1839, which did issue banknotes and aimed to serve the needs of sugar planters, began to appear. They, along with the Bank of Jamaica, however, were closed by the mid-1860s. This gave the Colonial Bank a monopoly over the banking system on the island for close to 2 decades, until with increasing trade with Canada, a number of Canadian banks appeared. The Bank of Nova Scotia in 1889, the Royal Bank of Canada in 1911, the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce in 1920, with each issuing their own notes. Most confusing. By the end of the 1930s, a currency law was passed, stipulating that the Board of Commerce was the only official issuer of paper money. All other notes were demonetized and withdrawn from circulation. Sole rights to issue note. In 1960, the Bank of Jamaica Act came into effect, giving the bank the sole right to issue notes and coins on the island. Bank of Jamaica notes made their first appearance in 1961. The front bore a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, the Jamaican coat of arms, and the signature of the first governor of the bank, Stanley W. Payton. On the back appeared different images of Jamaican life. When Jamaica became independent in 1962, no change was initially made to the coins and notes in circulation. They remained the British 3 pence, 6 pence, shilling, florin, 2 shillings and half crown, 2 shillings, 6 pence, along with the Jamaican penny and halfpenny. The notes retained the same colors as the notes issued by the government of Jamaica in 1940, in that the 5 shilling was red, the 10 shilling purple, and the 1 pound green, and the 5 pound blue. Now Jamaican money was born. In 1969, Jamaica switched to a decimal system of currency. The name of major units was to be dollar and minor units cents. All pounds, shillings and pence were called in and replaced by notes and coins, many of which were in colors as similar as possible to those held previously by British denominations. The transition from a British to Jamaican system of currency went smoothly as a result of a successful public education campaign. Then Minister of Finance Edward Seaga recalls that New Zealand, a country also about to undergo decimalization, sent representatives to Jamaica to ascertain how the process had been implemented. It was strongly felt that Jamaican currency, in addition to depicting aspects of the island's flora and fauna, should have as its most striking feature images that reflect the ideals of the newly independent country. The Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Jamaica therefore decided to have the country's first 2 national heroes, the Right Honourable Sir Alexander Bustamante and the Right Honourable Norman Manley, widely regarded as the founding fathers of modern Jamaica, appear on the lower dollar denominations, which are the $1 and $5 respectively, as they were thought to be the ones that would be most widely used. Seaga fondly remembers spending his first Jamaican dollar at the Master's Supermarket, now ILO, in Barbican. Other denominations would contain pictures of additional national heroes, the Order of the National Hero having been created in 1965. In 1986, these were joined by a $100 note with a picture of Sir Donald Sangster, Prime Minister in 1967. In 1988, the $50 note with a picture of Sam Sharp, commemorated a national hero in 1975, was also added. In the 1990s, with the devaluation of the Jamaican dollar, the form of Jamaican money changed again, and the lower denominations, the $1 and $5 bills, once thought to be the most widely circulated and useful, became relatively useless. They, along with the $20 bill, were eventually converted to coins that today hold a little purchasing power. In 1994, with increasing devaluation, the $500 note with Nanny, who was commemorated as National Hero in 1975, arrived, and in 2000 came the $1,000 note with former Prime Minister Michael Manley. All Jamaican banknotes are made to a standard size, a practice common also to America. It differs, however, from that found in the European Union and other countries where different denominations can be detected by their different sizing and markings, which aids those who suffer from extremely poor eyesight or are completely blind. All Jamaican notes bear the signature of the Governor of Bank of Jamaica and contain special features such as wide window tread, horizontal and vertical numbering, interlogo printing, and special paper and a watermark to denote legitimacy. In 2000, the pineapple watermark, which had been in use since the 1960s, was changed to the Dr. Bird. The 2 more recent banknotes have additional special features. The $500 note has iridescent clubs on its front left side, and the $1,000 note a large butterfly printed in gold ink. Today, the use of electronic money, debit cards and credit cards is on the rise in Jamaica, as in many countries around the world. Yet old habits die hard, and worldwide, the volume of cash in circulation continues to remain strong, partly owing to the fact that in general people resist change. Early forms of currency. What do tea, salt, rice, almonds, grains, shells, weapons, jewelry, and tools have in common? Well, in ancient times, they each served as money. As a result of the transition from Stone Age hunting and gathering to herding and agriculture, which led to surpluses. With surplus came the need to trade and barter, the emergence of early forms of commerce. Once, while animals were domesticated, cattle, sheep, and camels were also used as currency. Humans too were used as currency, even after the invention of coinage. In the 16th century, for example, the average exchange value of a slave was 8,000 pounds of sugar. Coins. It is believed that coinage was created at around the same time in both China and Turkey, 5th and 6th century BC. In some cases, items such as shells, weapons, and jewelry remained in use even after the invention of coins. In China, the coins included images of objects that had been used as money, such as chorus shells, and in Turkey they included punch marks on the back and an image of the king. Malleable metals such as copper, bronze, and iron were used to make coins, and standard-size metal rings, bracelets, arrowheads, and small mythological figures were cast and used for payment. As a result, regular trade routes for tin, copper, and bronze emerged like those already in existence for salt. In 680 BC, the Greeks minted the first flat, round coins, thereby defining money's physical shape for many centuries. These early coins were made of electrum, a gold or silver alloy, because at that time these metals were found mixed together in Greek mines. Paper money. Paper money did not arrive until around 650 AD when a Chinese emperor issued paper as value tokens for general use because with trade expansion it had become increasingly difficult to transport large amounts of bronze and iron coins. So coins were left with merchants who issued unwritten receipts, which traders then used to purchase goods. In the 11th century, the Chinese government assumed responsibility for issuing receipts that were given set values and used officially as money. It is not known how this paper money was made, but Marco Polo, writing in the 13th century, noted that paper was made from mulberry bark, written in black ink and simple designs engraved on wooden blocks, stamped onto paper with signatures, dates, and value added by hand. Paper money did not come to Europe until the 17th century, when the Swedes took the lead by issuing paper currency, with other countries gradually following suit. Money has been used in different forms all over the world for 5,000 years. Thank you for watching. Bless.